I want us to go back to the basics again. So I've got our code in front of us, but I've stripped out everything else. Okay. And if we go back to our browser, we just have am I real? That's all we have. We haven't got that paragraph anymore. Okay. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Now I want us to take a step back and think about what it is we want to do. We've got our H1 and we have our script tags, right? And we're wanting to add this paragraph before the script tag. Yes, we can use the method insertBefore, but sometimes your code gets so complicated. Sometimes you want to actually insert something after something. And like I said, there is no insert after method, which is why I want us just to go through a quick example. So the first thing I want to do is I want to grab the body and H1 tag. That's the first thing I want to do. So let's define an H1 element variable as our H1 tag, and I'm just going to be using the query selectors. And we know that's the H1. And of course I can do exactly the same thing here, but I want to define now a body element. And this of course is going to be the body tag. So there we go. Very quick. Now I want us to trick the insertBefore function. Now, in order to trick this insertBefore function, I want to create a new element after the element that we've got here, the H1 element. I'll show you what I mean. So I want to define a new variable called H1. Let's call it the next element. And I want us to access our H1 element. And I want to call a method. Remember the next element sibling method? We've been through this. You know this. It finds the next element sibling. I just want to say here, I could just use next sibling. I don't have to use next element sibling. I just want to be more, call it kosher in what I'm doing. Next element sibling will literally grab the next element sibling, being that script tag. It won't pick up text nodes. That's the only reason why I did it. Now, all I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to access our body element, and I want to use this insertBefore function. And remember, the insertBefore takes two arguments. The first argument is our new element we want to put into the DOM. And the second argument is that reference sibling. In which case here, we've defined it as H1 next element. How cool is this? So there we go. We've literally done it. And I'm going to shoot to the browser now and show you that it actually has worked. But just step back and think about why it is we would want to do this. Well, the one major reason I use it is that sometimes you don't always know what that next sibling is in your code. And that's why we trick it. We literally grab the current element we're on. In this case, it's the H1 tag. We then, access the next sibling method. In our case, we use next element sibling, but we could have used next sibling. And then we just trick the insertBefore method by using that next element sibling we've just created. And I know it sounds a bit weird, but trust me, sometimes you will need to kind of use this kind of method in order to insert an item where you want it in the DOM. But let me show you it has actually worked before we move to the next lecture. So here we go. Let's just go to the browser. Let's inspect our element. Let's go to the elements. Let's open up the body, and there we have it. Our paragraph is inserted before that script tag. In other words, it's inserted after that H1 tag. So I hope you're learning a lot. I hope you're finding this fun and intuitive, and I'll see you in the next lecture.